Now we want to create a trigger to open up this level, but that means that we first need to get in to our original level because, right, we're going to first save all, but you see here we have level platforms. That's the level we just made. And we want to open up our original level, which is, if we go to open project, or not open project, open level, and we're going to go down to third person, and you're going to see here we have the third person that we could open, and so we'll double click that, and now you can see we're back into our environment where we first started to play, right? Um, so what we want to do now with this is we want to create a trigger someplace where when we interact with it, that we'll be able to go to our new level. So to do that, what we're going to do is, and there's multiple ways you could do it. We could have like the flag that we had made, that could be our trigger. When you touch that, instead of what it currently does, which is pop up a window that says you win, you could have it instead go to the new level. Or we could just have like a plate that we run on, and that will make it. And so that's what we'll do is we'll just have uh, we'll create a new blueprint, right? So we're going to create a blueprint class, and this is just going to be an object that can be placed in this or spawned in the world. So an actor works just fine. We're going to call it blueprint, and we're going to call it trigger. And we're going to edit it. And we can pick whatever we want with it. I'm going to add a cube just because I like the idea of like stepping on something, and that's what triggers it. So I'm going to modify this so that it looks like a plate that you would put on the ground. So I'm going to just change the dimensions of it. So I'm going to make it a little bigger and a lot thinner. And you notice I don't get to go down too quickly or too much. And that's because its current snap size is 0.25. I want to make that a little smaller. So I'm going to say 0.1. So that might make it me, yeah, that's perfect, I think. Pretty thin, kind of is going to look like a, and we want it to be flat and stuff. It might be a little too wide, but we'll just make it a little bit more narrow. So that looks like a good trigger, and we will give it a color so that it's obvious what we're going on. So we'll change the element to the basic material, so something that'll stand out. Oh, that's kind of nice. It's big red X. So whatever you want to have it be, so let's try that. And then we're going to go down, and we need a collision on it, right? Because we need something to be able to sense when something happened. So box collision. And I'm going to leave it called box. And so then we're going to want to make it, we want it slightly bigger than our object that we have here, right? So it can sometimes be hard to figure this out and make sure that it is in the right location. So sometimes going top down, changing your perspective can help. So like I don't want it to be that wide. I just want it to basically be a little bit bigger than my box. So that fits it that way, and then we can look this way. We can make it a little bit. There we go. And that's perfect, right? And now what we're going to do is go get an event and handle the, we need, like we've done before, the overlap event. And we're going to use this to actually open our level. So the blueprint we want to add, we're going to click from this, is going to be open level by name. And what I like to do with these, just because you could just sit here and type out the name, but what I like to do is go find my level. So this is my level, and just like rename it, and then Control C to copy it, and you could get out of renaming it, and then go back into our trigger and then paste that in here. That way I make sure I have, if there's a typo or something's typed different here, I'm not changing and giving it invalid information. So we're going to make sure we save everything off, and then we're going to go test it and see if it works. We're going to hit, oh, we haven't placed it in our environment yet. We still need to place it in the environment. So we have our blueprint class right here. So we just need to put that someplace. We're going to test it. So we'll hit play. And so then we'll go over and find that trigger, and we'll walk on it, and boom, we're in our new level. So we know it works. So something came to my attention, and I just want to make sure that we test it out. So that was me running into it, right? And if we look at the code, all it does is say, like, if something overlaps, that it triggers and you go to the new platform. So I want to show you something fun. So I'm going to come over to my trigger, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an enemy into my environment. I'm going to add them over here, and I'm just going to turn them to kind of face the trigger. And what I want to do is I want to cause the enemy to run over the trigger. So I'm going to right click on this ramp and say, scroll to the bottom, it has a play from here button. And what that's going to do is it's going to start my character right on that ramp, so that I'm going to be right in the line of sight of my enemy, and it should start running towards me. And you see when it ran over the template, it triggered us coming into the new level. So that's not ideal. We don't want, the AI to all of a sudden trigger us changing levels. We want it to just be us. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop play, and I'm going to find my trigger and go to it just so I'm not in the middle of Nowhereville. We're going to go to our trigger, and we're going to add something to this. So what we're going to do is click out from the on component overlap, and I'm just going to say cast to third person character. And what this is going to do is limit who can do this, that it can't just be anybody who does it, that it has to be the third person character that triggers it. Now this has two inputs, right? It has just you're calling it, and it also has an object that you need to pass to it. So we are going to pass to it just other actor, and we're going to hit save. And now we can go back and we'll hit save all. That was compile and then save. And now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to right click on the ramp. We're going to do play from here, and we're going to watch them, and oh, look, lo and behold, it didn't trigger it. But now we got to make sure that we can still trigger it. And yes, we can. We can still trigger going over it and having us come into the new world. So there you go. A good lesson in what you can and should and shouldn't do. So adding that little extra step is really important. The other thing I wanted to mention was there is a way to change what level gets started when you play your game. Like, so if we wanted to go look at it, if you go to edit and project settings, and on the right hand side under project, there's a lot of different options, but one of them is called maps and modes. And this one, you're going to see that there's a editor start map. So that's what level we're editing by default. So if you started to work on the level platform, and you wanted that to be your default one that opened every time you were editing, like when you first open your game and what you're going to be editing, then you could change that there. And you'll see here your default game map, and that's the map that when you play the game, what starts automatically. We could have that be there of the third person. And so you can see if we wanted to change it, we could change it to the other one. So just as a place where you could go and send and have those options. So we're going to just save all. And so that is creating our new level and making a trigger to it and having it open up, and having it only open up for the player and not for anybody else who happens to trigger the item. So I will see you in the next video.